So when you talk about a new religion, it seems like the polling suggests that this religion is taking hold. And of course, we can all sit here and have arguments about what that religion consists of. But I would say, on balance, the trend that we're seeing, and these statistics suggest that this is taking increasing hold in our schools, is a trend away from teaching subjects which have, you know, curriculum-defined content that is reviewed and processed and approved by certain authorities, towards a more political approach to teaching, where the remit of the school and the teachers within the school is to help children understand how to live the good life, how to be, how to behave, how to think, what is wrong, what is right, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what is morally the limits of an issue, and what is not to be approached cognitively in terms of thinking about issues. Now, the problem I have with that is that if schools have this remit, that they can teach children not just about subjects, but how they should live their lives, of course parents in that scenario become completely redundant, because parents traditionally take on the business of a child's private life.
Why do they, though? So just out of interest, why are parents in charge of their families and not the state?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm not going to try and give you a pat answer to that, but it is just a matter of how it works, isn't it? I mean, children are born into, as you started your monologue, you talked about, you know, being born into a family, then being born into a community, and then you talked about the nation, which I think, you know, nations only have coherence insofar as they manifest cultural, you know, cultural features and characteristics and values that hang together. So there are things to do with cohesion, and when you're born with people around you, those are the people that you go to when you need help. Those are the people who are your role models. Those are the people who inculcate in you a set of values and priorities, for better or for worse. But once the school comes in and says, well, that's our job, of course, first of all, parents become redundant, but then you have the problem that, OK, but then the state will decide on behalf of the entire demographic, which is comprised of people with different and competing cultural values and political ideas. Well, then you don't have a democracy, and you also don't have a private sphere, which is exactly what we see in totalitarian regimes. The private sphere is effectively abolished, and to the extent that it exists, people are whispering under their breath at home so that they're not picked up by surveillance or reported to state representatives. Well, the school is, in this sense, a key mediator between the state and the private sphere. And I'm very concerned, and I think parents are concerned, about the political implications of children being taken in school and told what they should think, and that if their parents contradict them, then the parents are the problem. That's a political argument. And law tells us, and you mentioned the Education Act, that political indoctrination is unlawful. So schools should not be doing it in democratic Britain. They just shouldn't.